What's up, beautiful jellyfish? It's Tracy. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. I've been on fire filming videos. I feel like I filmed, today's Thursday. I think I filmed a video Tuesday, Wednesday, and now Thursday, so I'm doing really well. I don't know what's got me, so I'm just doing everything. I feel like it's just because I'm so busy that I'm just let's get all the things done at the same time. Okay, so a while back, I actually filmed a video which is very similar to this one that I'm filming right now, where I basically talked about, non-basic lands. And if you're just, getting into EDH, or, you just want, good lands for EDH, I kind of just, threw a small list together. Keep in mind, this is part 1. I'm going to be filming future parts in the future. Hold on. I'm going to be filming... I'm just gonna film more, in the future, you got me. So, this is just this is part 1, because I realized in that video, I tried to talk about a lot of cards, and it just didn't really work out too well. I need to focus. I usually, like I said, I keep my list to, 10 cards, that way I don't, talk that much, and it's usually, a good number for me. Because the more I talk about, the more magic cards I have to talk about, the longer the video is, which just makes sense. So, let's talk about this. So, the first land I want to talk about that's a really good EDH staple, which definitely should add to your collection, is Temple of the False God. Temple of the False God is really, really good. You know, you're playing EDH where you're playing games with 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 38, whatever lands. You're playing the game with a lot of lands, so the chance of you having 5 on board to make Temple of the False God tap for 2 is really good. This kind of just is an essential EDH staple that you should just have on all of your decks. The card's 50 cents. It's just kind of an essential, every single one of your EDH decks it goes into. Yeah, it adds colorless mana, but it adds 2 colors to your mana pool. It's a Soul Ring, but kind of a delayed Soul Ring, because you gotta have 5 lands, but it counts as the 5th land, so you really only have to have 4 lands. Kind of an awkward card to have in your opening hand, but the card's just really, really good, and it's definitely an EDH staple. The next card, or it's really just cards that I want to talk about, are the Tri-lands. The Tri-lands got reprinted in... Oh man, what was it? They came out I feel like they got reprinted recently. Maybe it was a while back. I don't remember. But there's a couple of sets of them which have all the different colors basically together. And this is really good. If you're running a tricolor deck, just throw the tricolor land in there. Yeah, it comes in tapped, but honestly it doesn't even matter. It's bothering me because I can picture, because I run Opulent Palace, which is the Sultai land in Tasigur, and I can't think of the name of what it was printed in right now. But anyways, they're really, really good. If you're running 3 color, whatever, they're just really, really good cards to have. They don't do anything fancy, but they get you your colors, and that's really important in EDH, especially because some of your cards, if you're running 3 colors, your mana can be really sensitive. So definitely, to me, a thing that I really like. Another cool EDH staple that I really like is the Temple lands, the scry lands. I don't know why I actually wrote them as temples. They're the scry lands, is what everyone calls them. They come in tapped. When they UTB, you get to scry. 1. It's not super fancy. They come in tapped, but you know what? They get you your colors, and being able to scry and have access to information is really cool. Especially if you do a thing where you bounce a land back to your hand or something like that, or you're playing Gate Wreckage and you're bringing your lands back to the battlefield, whatever you're trying to do. Overall, I think the scry lands are really good. I think they're a really good EDH staple, and definitely something that doesn't hurt to have in your EDH collection. Then we have the Buddy lands, and the Buddy lands say that they come in untapped so long as you have a certain color. So if you're running a 2 color deck, these are just strictly better than Guild Gates, because those just don't do anything and they just come in tapped. So Buddy lands are just really good because you have the advantage of getting a color and having a land come in untapped that gets you a color immediately, or either color, whatever. Definitely an essential, I think, in 2 color decks. I think the Buddy lands are really awesome. Then we have the Gain Life lands. What's really, really awesome about the Gain Life lands is that they were printed twice with different names. So if you really need to spice up your EDH lands, but you don't have a ton of money to do that, these lands are so inexpensive. They're 30 cents a piece. They're not crazy at all. They're probably cheaper than that, and you can get 2 of them, which is awesome because they each have different names. Oh, speaking of things, there's a website, and it actually goes through I have it saved to my computer somewhere, and if I can find it for you guys, I will definitely let you know. It'll be in the description bar, but it's like this sweet website where you have like your colors, and then you can go through like the different lands that you have. If you're doing like 2-color, it'll show you like all the 2-color lands in like red, white, or like something like that. It's a sweet, sweet website. It's really bothering me. I can't think of what it is right now, but it's a really awesome thing. So yeah. That's that. Then command tower. If you are running 2+ colors in EDH, you absolutely need a command tower in your life. Go pick one up. Go pick like 7 of them up because this card is just super good. It just belongs in every single EDH deck that's not monocolored because it's just going to get you any mana that your commander produces. It's just going to tap for anything. It's just, this is like on the top list for me of like EDH lands that you like absolutely need in your life. The card's great. Then we have the Ravnica bounce lands. And I really like bounce lands in like 2-color decks. I think they're just really sweet. And what's really awesome is if you're running like, or even if you're running like 3 colors, you can run like the bounce lands in those too, like that absolutely works, is you bounce like something like Bojuka Bog, which is actually the next card we're going to talk about. You bounce your scry lands, your gain life lands. That's like really, really awesome. So you get like those lands and you get them back and then you get to replay them. It's actually just like a really sweet little, like, it's a little thing. Another really awesome things about those is that they tap for 2 mana. So yeah, you have to return a land to your hand, but again, if you're doing things with like your lands having like ETB effects and stuff like that, yeah, it's just super sweet. Like, let me tell you, like, nothing is better than like turn 1 tap land, turn 2 bounce land, bounce that like tap land. Yeah, you gotta discard something, but then you get more value with your scry, but like whatever, it's just super sweet. I already spoiled it, but Bojuka Bog. Guys, I can't even tell you how many times I've just found that I've been like, yo, you know what card I really need right now? Bojuka Bog. That card's gonna save me. If you're someone who doesn't want to play with really oppressive EDH cards like Rest in Peace and Leyline of, what is the black one called? I literally can picture the art right now, but I can't picture what it's called right now. It's not Leyline of Punishment, that's the red one. Leyline of Denial? I think that's what it is. It's the black Leyline, and it's basically like, you know, it has like, you can play it on like, before turn start if you have it in your opening hand, but if not, it comes in for 4 mana, and then it basically like all feature cards get exiled, or like, you know, you're running like Anafenza or something like that, but you like those cards are like really oppressive and can really shut a lot of people out of the game if they're playing like major graveyard synergies. So if you're kind of like, I want a card that deals with someone's graveyard, but like it's not super oppressive, Bojuka Bog's really good. And another reason why Bojuka Bog is so good is because if you're running something like Relic of Progenitus or like whatever, people can destroy those things and you won't get that, like, you know, and they could exile them so you can't get them back, but like, Bojuka Bog is a land, so there's not a lot of ways for people to deal with that. Things like artifacts and enchantments are going to be more vulnerable to lands, and once your land like ETBs, it just chills there, and then it adds for a black. Really good with the bounce lands, really, really good. Overall, Bojuka Bog is like on my list of like top lands like of all time, because I just can't tell you how many times I'm like playing Tasigur, or I'm playing like 5-color, because I put Bojuka Bog in Super Friends. I took out a swamp so I could run Bojuka Bog. Yeah, it comes in tapped, but I honestly don't care. This card is just great. Every single black deck in EDH needs to run this card. If you're playing with people who are running like major graveyard synergies, which people probably are, there's gonna be like, even if you're not doing like major synergies, you're like running some sort of like graveyard recursion. So yeah. Okay. Then we have Alchemist Refuge. Okay guys, there's some people on this earth, cough cough me, who are really sad that Prophet got banned. Still really sad. I need a moment of silence for Prophet. Really sad that card got banned. And you know what? Sometimes you just like really miss Prophet and you really need to like build your own Prophet. Alchemist Refuge is a really good way of doing that. Any non-land card you just play with Flash. Okay, sweet, sounds to me. Yeah, you have to like pay like 2 mana for it and you have to tap it, but you're playing green, so you're probably playing mana ramp, mana acceleration, so just like get there and then like play your things. You know, like sometimes like you just gotta. Sometimes you just need to do that. The card's like sweet. And then we have a card that I really like. I think it's a really good card in the right deck, and that is Gate Wreckage. Gate Wreckage has actually been popping up a little bit in Modern with some Tron players running it, which I think is a really, really good idea because Tron dumps their hand so often. If you're playing like a game where you're not running a lot of card draw, Gate Wreckage is like a really good way of you to get some card advantage because, you know, if you're running something like you're running colors that don't really have like access to that much card draw, or you're just not drawing any of your card draw or stuff like that, Gate Wreckage is like a really good land to have. Keep in mind that it does have 4 colorless, so if you're like sensitive on mana issues, you're running like 3 colors, you may want to like watch out for it. That's like a thing too. I've always feel about land bases in EDH is all about balance. It's all about, you know, making sure you have enough of the right colors and things like that. And that's why I wanted to film these, because I wanted to like tell some people, because I know a lot of times like lands are something that I kind of forget about. Like when I'm building a mana base, I kind of just start with like, I'm trying to get the rest of the deck up and functioning, but like there's some EDH like lands that I just automatically like, they just automatically go in. Also notice on this list, I didn't talk about like fetch lands and shock lands. Most of you guys are like probably familiar with those at this point from like other formats, and not everyone can afford dual lands, and I don't really want to talk about those. These are just kind of like EDH cards that are, you know, for the most part, these are all like pretty cheap. Command Tower maybe like $2, but it's essential, like it's so good. But none of these are like crazy expensive. I didn't really want to talk about those. To me, I'm just kind of like, I know a lot of people run those, but to be honest, I don't run those cards in EDH. Like I have fetch lands for Modern, and I don't own fetch lands. Like I don't own like crazy amounts of fetch lands that I run them in like all of my EDH decks. It's something that I feel like when I think of mana bases and how I build them in EDH, I don't automatically go to fetch lands and shock lands. I feel like that's something that like people just automatically do. I don't do that. Yeah, it's just not something that's ever really like been like a thing, because they're like expensive and they've never been something like, my mana bases have always seemed like decently okay on their own, that I feel like I didn't want to go that extra mile to like spice up my mana base. But these are a couple cards that if you're like kind of newer to EDH, I think these are like good staples that you want to get. Definitely check out for part 2 of this video when I film that, and I'll talk to you guys later.